AI in Sedgefield. More events than you can imagine. And the German.
I'm Bomber.
And I'm Chris.
And you are about to listen to This Week in Sedgefield.
All right, we're back.
Are we back? Excellent.
And it's not summer.
It's not.
I know you thought it was summer. You were tricked into thinking that it was summer, but it is in fact not summer. There's even some more hectic weather coming this way, isn't there?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Can it be more hectic than the rain we've just had?
That was unbelievable. That was like it seems like there were some floods even that were happening. The Karatra
It felt like it. Yeah, Karatra Bridge being closed apparently.
Whoa.
I was on my motorbike because my car's in being fixed. I feel responsible for the rain.
I always do hold you accountable. I'm glad that you brought it up.
So I'm on my motorbike and I'm getting wet a lot. And the roads in Sedgefield, well, they are full gutter as opposed to gatvol.
Full gutter. Oh, yes. We've got a cool little sound clip for you on that. It sounds like this.
And the reason for that is I believe administration is not getting the funding that they need to be able to execute their work. We're employing people in this organization to do nothing, because it is friends of politicians. And I'm sticking my neck out here today because I've had enough. I'm gutful of this.
We'll speak a little bit more about the context of that quote.
Yeah. Okay.
So look, I think next week. Yeah.
We if you feel that we're speaking a little bit faster than we usually do, that's because Chris has a drum lesson he's got to give in about 35 minutes. So we've got to get on with this. So apologies if we are speaking faster than we normally do.
Okay. Well, so we're going to try to speak not too fast, but we are going to speak a little bit faster, and hopefully that you can keep track of all of it, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get
there.
No,
that's all right. Let's we're in Sedgefield, slow town.
Okay, slow
Everyone
town.
Relax. We'll be okay.
Excellent.
Let's start off by talking about the delicious front page.
Ah,
We've actually got a lot to chat about on this front page.
yeah,
Man,
the front page of the Edge.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think it is so cool. Tell me about this picture to start off with.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know if I've broken journalistic ethics, because the front page picture, as I did mention it under the picture, was AI generated.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought you put it very interestingly, because you said an AI illustration.
Yes.
Which it is. It's AI generated. But when I read illustration, I was like, oh no, it's not but it kind of is an illustration. It's something that's drawn.
Yeah.
And it's drawn in very, very interesting ways. But yeah, so it's AI.
It looks like a photograph, but it's But
it's not. Those people don't exist. That boat doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And if you look if you look carefully for the defects,
Yes,
you can find them.
I did get rid of one of them.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so anybody who isn't in the know about AI, generated pictures. So you can go online and you can find various new apps that are some of them are free, and you say, I want a picture of this, and you as much detail as you can. So this picture had to illustrate so many things that are going on in Sedgefield over the next few weeks.
Oh, so an illustration like that. Okay.
The illustration was we've got the anything that floats, we've got the kite festival, we've got a skate day, and we've got the Battle of the Buskers. So the question was to AI, hey, we need a homemade boat with someone flying a kite, someone on a skateboard, and someone playing the guitar. And this is what it came up with.
And it did it.
Within a few well, I must say, I was trying on a more dodgy AI thing, which gave me some really scary things.
Oh my goodness,
But a good friend of mine knows AI.
Yeah, 3D artist, animator, AI expert. The stuff that he is doing is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes,
it's phenomenal. Yeah.
So we'll call him Steve.
Codename Steve.
Yes, not Alan Ingalls, which would have worked better with AI.
There we go.
Anyway, so he typed in, and within a few minutes he produced this amazing picture.
It works. It works. It works so well.
But as you were talking about defects,
so there are a few imperfections, and you can often spot, although it's becoming more and more challenging to spot AI generated images and AI generated video.
Yes,
that's
and content, written content as well. Yeah,
and AI voice.
Oh,
and you start to put all of these things together, and you could very well have Helen Ziller calling you on the phone, asking for a loan.
Yeah,
and it would sound just like her, and it could be AI generated. It could be not even a person running it. That it's as you're speaking to this computer that sounds like Helen Ziller, that's cloned her voice, for example. Then it's answering back, and it's getting to the point that it is conversational. They're slower on releasing some of these things. But so there are some defects. Like if you look closer at fingers, AI often struggles with fingers. Finger coming out of the nose.
I think the guitar player has only got 3 fingers on his left hand.
Oh, very talented.
I must say that he had a much bigger nose.
Oh, really?
I had to doctor that. I gave him a nose job.
Oh, well done.
That's the thing with AI generated stuff is it doesn't have logic.
That's right.
Obviously, this picture doesn't have much logic. So if it generates the picture, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know more about this than me, but it kind of finds bits of pictures everywhere, and is that what it does?
So in a way, so it's got this massive bank. It uses something called a neural network. So all technology, every invention, everything that we've ever done is just trying to copy what, I'll put it out there, God has already put in design. Okay. And so we've got this incredible design in our brains of neural networks we're provided a stimulus, whether it be a touch, a sight, a smell, whatever it might be, and then our brain starts making links in other neurons to other things that are, likely, and that link our understanding, pain or hot, move hand away, a conversation, the next word and language, and it's incredibly complicated. So what computers are doing are they're taking an input, and they look at, if we look at maybe the words, or let's do for the images. So it starts off with just kind of noise, lots and lots of dots, and then it grabs those words, and then it starts to make links to what is most likely the next word, or in this case, what's most likely the next pixel. And it keeps sharpening it and thinking, I'm putting in quotation marks, what is most likely what's coming up next.
Yes.
And it makes lots and lots of links. So it starts to see fingers, it thinks hand, but it sees one finger and then it sees another finger next to it. So it should just, it thinks maybe let me put another finger, or maybe that's too many fingers. Maybe that should be the end of the hand. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't understand what it's putting. It's like handing information to somebody who's in one room and it's in a language that they don't understand. Yeah. But they've got this really big dictionary, and then they're just kind of decoding what you've put there, and then they just put it out the other side. It has no idea what it's generating.
That's it.
But it's just running off what's most likely next.
What I'm discovering is it has no logic, so it doesn't know, like every one of us knows, a hand would normally have 4 fingers and
that's right, yeah.
Doesn't have that logic. But also another important thing to know is it doesn't have basic honesty.
No. So it doesn't know what honesty is. It's a computer.
It's a computer.
It's bleeps and bloops. But
I was doing some research on when that building collapsed.
Yes.
In George. So I was looking for information, and I tested one of these AI sites, the written ones.
Yeah.
This was ChatGPT. So what I wanted it to do was to gather information from all the news sites, because the article I was putting in was about 2 weeks after it happened. So there was so much that happened, and I didn't have the time or the manpower to get all these articles précis into a sort of a day-by-day thing that we could put in the paper. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, please look into this, and with particular reference to that one gentleman who's actually, he was a survivor. He had been in there over 100 days, 100 hours.
Hours. Yeah, it wouldn't be 100 days.
100 hours.
Been a while.
It was more than 100, because it was 5 or 6 days, I think. Yeah. Anyway, he hadn't had food or water. So now I didn't put that information in. I just put his name in and said, this is one of the survivors.
Yeah.
Please include all information about him.
Yeah.
And it came back with this very nicely written story.
Oh, it is pretty good at that. Yeah.
But the facts were wrong.
Absolutely
they
wrong.
mentioned him.
Yeah.
And they said, and he was in there for 6 hours without food and water.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was in for days and days.
That's right. Yeah.
Then on another thing, a while later, I was looking at what was it called? That spatula development.
Oh, the spatula, yes. Yeah. Spatial development, yes.
So I
the
didn't know
spatula,
enough of background on the spatial development framework
Yes,
thing.
the
So I
spatula.
also went once again into ChatGPT and I said, do some research on this this framework, just so that I've got some background to get my head around when I write the article.
That's it, yeah. Good summary of it, yeah.
Yeah. So because in the past I've said, I've represented myself on this thing as a newspaper thing.
It
sent
knows
me,
you.
it knows me. Yeah.
you.
So it says, it wrote me a newspaper article about the spatial development framework.
Yeah.
And it said this has been very strongly pushed and championed by Mayor Fikile Mabuzo.
A complete
And
made up
I'm like,
one.
it was made up.
Yeah.
Totally made up mayor's name, but
Yes.
they thought, well, mayors do like to push these things.
There you go.
So we'll make you up a mayor.
That's
Now,
right,
luckily, I know that the mayor's name is not that.
No, not at all. Yeah. So,
But
that's
Anybody
amazing.
could have just placed that in as a story.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. So
Okay.
it hallucinates, is what
Yes,
we call it.
that's it.
So that's the
It's
technical
on
term.
mushrooms.
It is on
Yes.
many of them always, and
Yes,
it still
yeah.
has to do its work. It's getting incredibly smart, and what it does, it's advancing so quickly.
Yeah.
So while that story was still unfolding, you wouldn't have been able to get the latest and greatest on that.
Yeah.
It has a cut-off date on the data that it's trained on. But I suppose I can still say newer ones are able to, and there was a lot of contention around this and a lot of worry about this, to access the internet. So it can actually now, if you plug it into, if you were to ask that same question now, it'd be very interesting to try it
See,
out.
I should do that. Yeah.
so
Find
it-
the same question and send it again. Yeah.
That's right, yeah, where it actually has to do some research, because now there are ones that search the internet, grab all of the articles, and then summarize them for you.
Yeah.
So then we'll actually be able to do that a whole lot better.
A whole lot quicker.
Yeah.
And you don't have to make it coffee.
Right. Well,
amazing.
I mean, you can.
You
if
can.
if you want. It might
then you drink it
supercharge
yourself.
Yeah. You can ask it if it wants coffee. But it's going to be a wild one, and I know that we're going to be talking about this a whole bunch. But we've got other things that are coming up in the next few weeks.
Well, that's it. That was the thing with the whole front page story. So yeah, I'm going to be brief because we have spoken about them, most of them before.
Yeah, we haven't spoken about the Kite Festival that much, and I've got a few questions about the anything that floats.
Okay, right.
Okay, can we
Fire
start with
away.
that? Okay.
Yes.
What are we allowed to build with? Or rather, what are we not allowed to build with? Because I got some ideas, but I don't know how close I'm allowed to get to a boat or flotation device that would still be considered legal in your parameters. I asked ChatGPT.
It didn't. Yeah.
It told me something about Lego. I don't know.
So if it's anything that's not from a boat or a jet ski or a raft or anything,
Kids floaty device.
It can be, a kid's floaty device.
Kids floaty device. See, it wasn't exactly that I was thinking of.
So you took like a boogie board or something like
Oh,
that.
I hadn't thought of a boogie board.
Look, I think boogie boards probably would be okay, or an armband or something like that. Definitely not a surfboard. Definitely not a canoe. Definitely not something like that.
So
you are allowed paddles from a boat.
Okay.
Though,
Yes. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
So I've just had some ideas around balloons.
Balloons is fine.
Balloons are safe.
If
Balloons
you choose
are good.
to have ideas around balloons, that's fine.
I do think about balloons.
Do you? Yeah.
I sometimes have dreams.
Did I make your voice squeaky?
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
So
what I really want to
Okay.
check. And then when we've got this flotation device, right, and balloons and all of these things, does the whole team have to ride it around a course?
No.
Is it just one person?
Well,
A dog? A cat?
goats with snorkels and flippers.
That float?
Yeah, it's kind of should be I don't know. We're very well. I'm not we. The judges are quite lenient, but I mean, if you had sort of 36 men building a float and a small child got on it and was jet propelled around the lake, nah, maybe not so much.
Okay.
But if enough effort's been put into it, it has to be built on the day. Or, let me say it differently. It has to be assembled on the day.
Assembled on the day.
Yeah, because some people do. I don't know if it's right, but some people do build it and put it in a pool and say, "Oh, that works," and then they test it out. These wealthy pool owners. But
could just go to the lagoon, man.
But when you get there at 8:00, it cannot be already built. Okay. It cannot be assembled, and you can't assemble it and put it on the water straight away. It has to be judged before it goes on the water, so you can't test drive it on the day.
So what I'm hearing more than anything is that with a case of mince pies and beer, we can pretty much just pass that on to the judges, and then we can almost do whatever we'd like.
I'm not sure about the mince pies, but
really?
Yes, mostly.
Okay. Close enough.
Close enough.
Cool. Okay, now that's clarified a whole bunch for me.
Yes.
Then we've also got Battle of the Buskers.
The Battle of the Buskers. Okay, so apparently there's not many tables left.
Whoa.
I've heard just 2 tables left. Okay. It's an annual thing. Basically, they've got 3 acts. So the Lions organize it. So it's in the form of a picnic. There's some tables. There's some place to sit on the grass.
Are they going to open the playground there? I don't know if you've driven past. I mean, I've got an eye out for jungle gyms. It looks incredible.
It does.
Benches.
I don't know if it's going to be open then.
That'd be a cool opening time, I would think. Also, just because I want to go there with my kids and we want to play. The previous ones were sketchy.
What, your previous kids?
No. The current ones are sketchy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the previous ones were fine. No, but those previous jungle gyms, there were parts of them that were a bit sketchy. They were like my son hanging very far high above my head on this like twisting pole, and he's like, "Dad."
That was a bit. I think with age, they've done an amazing job.
Very, very cool.
We're not really supposed to talk about it, apparently, because I wanted to do an article in the paper.
Yes, but
it's there's a sponsor on board. I think a national sponsor, and they want like a big reveal of the playground.
Okay, cool.
So,
well, I mean,
we're not going to say anything about the playground.
We won't speak about the playground and how benches and gladiator gyms. I think very similar ones, or some of the same parts from at the market there in the Mosaic part. Very, very cool. Okay, we won't talk about it, Joe.
Yeah, okay. Moving on. The Battle of the Buskers is 3 acts, so it's kind of measured by a clapometer. It's basically if the audience cheers more for one act than the other, they score. The nice thing is it's all very happy, lovey, whatever, because
cool vibe,
all the bands, the 3 acts, the 3 different acts, some years there's 4, some there's 3. Yeah. They all get the same prize money.
Oh, okay.
They just one gets to take the trophy guitar home. They wanted to keep it chilled and not so competitive. So they all they all totally disarmed and they all get the same prize
except
money.
for axes.
Oh yes, axes. You're so cool. Yeah, axes.
There we go.
Yeah. So us musos know about axes.
We know.
Yeah. Especially the deodorant. Anyway, so that's happening on Heritage Day. So that's Tuesday, which is a public holiday. Yeah,
I couldn't figure it out because it was like a few days after the skates.
The skates thing's on a Sunday.
Sunday, from like 11, and that's going to be super fun.
That's another thing going on.
Yeah. So I'm speaking to a lot of the kids who I teach. Man, they are keen on it.
Oh, good.
It's so cool to hear how it seems like word has really gotten out around it.
Yeah.
And you see a bunch of people skating around town. I think it's going to be nice. I think it's going to be fun.
Great. Yeah, that's Sunday at 11 on the main service road. Outside Stoned Oxygen, they're the main organisers, and Kahuna's Takeaways, who will be open there.
Oh, will they? Oh, cool. Team. Of course they would be. Yeah. Brilliant idea.
Very nice. That's on Sunday. Then Tuesday is the Battle of the Buskers. Then on the next Saturday is the Anything That Floats.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness! Then in early to mid October, so next month is The Kite Festival, which you wanted to mention.
This is so cool. Okay, I'm sure we're going to speak about it more and more as the weeks roll on. But this is like a big deal event. It was up in Karatra.
Yeah.
And now it's moved back down to this side.
Yes,
and there are multi-year sponsorships.
Remax has come on as a 3-year sponsor.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. And it's I would imagine it's the same this year, but last year it was touted as the biggest, the Garden Route Kite Festival, the biggest kite festival in Africa.
Yes.
Wow.
I remember you mentioning that.
Wow, that's huge.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to take the kids.
And it's really good fun. There's always music going on. There's a dog display, not a dog training display. They don't display the dog. The dogs run around and chase.
Here are the dogs. Here are the kites. Thank you. Move along.
Yes.
We've had our fun.
Yeah, so
cool.
That's it. Yeah,
okay, looking forward to that.
And lots of fun and games.
Moving on, something that's really not very fun and games, but is very worth mentioning. And I'm glad that you put it on the front page as well, because there was a stat on this that just blew my mind, and this has to do with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Have I done that right?
Yes, FASD.
FASD.
Yeah.
That there are 310 out of 1,000 people in Western Cape who have this this disorder.
That's almost a third. Hey, almost a third.
It's jarring. It's sad.
So fetal alcohol. I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's because of the scourge. I've called it a scourge.
Yep. No, I think that's apt. Yeah.
Yeah. Of alcohol being consumed. It's always been a social problem in this area in South Africa, but especially in the Western and Eastern Cape, and basically pregnant mothers drinking
excessively,
and it affecting the unborn child. So then you have a child that's basically born with special needs.
Yes.
Very hard for an impoverished family to bring up a child with special needs.
Yeah.
Because there's financial implications, even down to babysitting implications. The mother can't go to work and leave the child at a normal creche.
It just compounds, hey?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
So when we saw that statistic, we thought it's a big problem, bigger than I thought it was. Actually, much bigger.
No,
basically, the article is not really aimed. Well, it's aimed at the mothers or the mothers to be, but it's also aimed at other people who. At everyone, basically, to say spread the word.
That's it. Yeah.
Start the conversations.
Man.
If you see any drives to any initiatives,
more of
support
those
them.
And support.
They need all their support. Think out of the box. Think of what you can do.
In the short term and looking at the long term. There's an element of this that is just deeply embedded in culture, not just cultures in the Western Cape. A lot of impoverished cultures are going to struggle with this. We see this historically. So there has to be some kind of culture change, not for everything to change in that culture. And this is true of all cultures. We all have weaker points because it's made up of people, and people don't always get it right. Often ever. And so we got to try to change culture. And I really like one of the areas, I mean, this where I was hearing about this a little bit more was at Rondevlei Learning Centre. And how there are, it seems, some of the learners who are there have this. And they have, I mean, obviously you're speaking and it's everything seems on the up and up, but just learning difficulties. And again, how that just passes on, but those kids who are learning these skills and are learning, looking after their family, and hopefully learning, and I'm sure, I hope learning the dangers of behaving like this, doing that, drinking while pregnant. It's
a huge look. As you mentioned, it happens in other countries as well. In various cultures. So maybe the upside of that is that. Maybe there is information out there that we can copy. Maybe there's
how has this been dealt with elsewhere?
How is this being dealt with? I think the clinic is a very good place to start. Perhaps there can be flyers, educational flyers put out there. I don't know.
And community leaders.
Community leaders.
And fathers.
Fathers. Yes.
Fathers.
Yeah.
Fathers.
Big time.
Sure.
So it really is a problem. But let's just I'm just calling on everyone to support any initiatives that champion this.
Yeah, and we need a whole lot of those.
We do indeed.
But otherwise, it's coming up to some holiday times. I mean, we're not going to be hitting full season anytime too soon, but already things are filling up. And there was a nice beach day yesterday, and I already saw a few hippie.
Hippie number plates.
Hippie plates.
Yeah.
So people are going to be coming in. And there's this one great story that you've got that we started speaking about last week of some out of country visitors. I would like to title this one "The Germans."
The Germans. Yes.
I think you got a better title. What was it? Oh no! Okay, no, I
don't.
The
Heistmeisters.
Heistmeister. Don't say what it is, but let's hear about this because I love this.
Okay, so let's go back to probably about 2003.
Can I come back when I'm done?
So the Edge newspaper in 2003 had a visit from in fact, no, let me go back a couple of weeks prior to that. In fact, a couple of weeks prior to that.
Come back when you're done.
Happened to be, I happened to be on a volunteer first aid team. It was a thing set up that a few of us would rush to assist with first aid because it used to take the ambulances hours to come from Neisner. I think Neisner
and it was
had
Baywatch audition. I think was really the reason your Baywatch audition.
Yes, that was it.
Sorry, keep going.
Okay. So we were called to the beach because there was an apparent drowning in progress.
Okay. Emergency?
Emergency, yeah. So we rushed there fearing the worst.
Yeah.
But what actually was going down there is there was a German fellow and his daughter, and they had been caught in a rip current. So they were actually fairly far out, trying to swim in against the rip current. But fortunately, there was a guy on the beach, and believe you me, this was it when nothing happened in Sedgefield. So us first aiders were there. The fire engine was there. The fire department was there. I think there was a couple of doctors on duty, and everyone. It was like a spectator sport.
Yeah.
And this man. I don't know if he was part of the NSRI or a lifeguard or something, but he was somehow signaling to them to go to the side.
Yes.
That's what you do in a rip current.
Pictures, that are up
in
on
a
all
rip
the beaches,
current, you don't swim back against the current. You go to the left or the right, and then you will be brought back in by the other currents. So he somehow, don't know how, somehow he signaled to them.
International hand language, yeah.
Yes. And they managed, they watched what he was saying and they managed to come in. But they had been so terrified, especially the father. So it's a father
and daughter, right?
Yeah, father and daughter. That when they got on the beach, and A, they really wanted to thank this dude, but B, the whole fire crew was there. I think they were all volunteer fire crew at the time. And then the first aiders, we were there. He just was blown away.
Yeah.
So he said to everyone, "Look, I want to buy you a drink." He probably said it better than that.
A little bit less like Dracula. But
I want to buy you a drink.
I want to. Excuse me.
No, he wanted to buy everyone a drink.
Wow,
but we couldn't. The first aiders, we had to go back to work. But the fire crew... They
weren't doing anything important.
Well, they were. It was a quiet day, and so some of them stayed behind. Long story short, whilst he was in the pub with them, he said, "Hey, what can I buy you guys? Not just a drink. I want to make a donation to the fire department." And they accepted the donation of. He bought them some emergency. Rescue.
Schnitzels. Emergency schnitzels.
Emergency schnitzels.
It's emergency. Nasty schnitzel.
And a Frankfurter sausage. Oh. No, he bought them some emergency mountain rescue equipment, actually.
Amazing.
Quite a lot of money.
Amazing.
So then, then we go back to the week after, or 2 weeks after. They called us. The fire department said, "Look, we'd like to celebrate this guy in the paper.
Yeah.
So can we have a picture in the paper of him shaking our hand, presenting us this equipment?" So we put that in the paper. We chatted to the guy.
Chatted to him.
Chatted to him, and we asked him the story, and Okay, cut to now. Apparently, the whole time he was in jail. The whole time he was in Sedgefield, he was very generous. He was handing out 200 Rand tips to the petrol guys. He was
to his entourage that I'm sure would be following him at this point.
So he left town somewhere. We didn't hear from him again, and thought, well, he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think it was about 2 weeks after that, maybe a month after that, I get a call from the Sunday Times saying, this guy you featured in your paper. I said, yeah, nice guy, really good, cool guy. They said, well, not.
Oh.
So he was on the run from the German police and Interpol.
No way.
Yeah. So I will fill in that story just now, but anyway, they had traced him. He had been sending them, sending the head of the German police, teasing letters,
like taunts,
what, for years, since 2001, 2002. But I will get back to that. So basically, they had decided they couldn't find him, but they watched his daughter. She had flown out to Cape Town.
Yeah.
And then they'd come up, and that's when they had
figured out where it was.
The daughter had come up to see her father.
Yeah.
And then when she went back to Cape Town, they spotted her again, and then the father went to visit her. And they grabbed him.
Whoa.
So then
hold him
again,
back
now we go a few more years forward.
Years, okay.
He arrives at my shop in the Edge newspaper again, and I'm like, whoa.
Excuse me, I've just got to go make a call. Nothing to do with you. No, I don't need to run. I just like running sometimes.
Yes,
it's a hobby.
What? This rifle? No, it's not me. Anyway. So, and with him, he had a man with a camera, like a rolling movie camera. Yeah. So he said, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "What? Yeah. No, yes." No, And he told me the story. Whoa. So this is the background story. Yeah. So in the late 1990s, I think it was, he had a business partner. Yeah. And he had caught his business partner embezzling a whole lot of money.
Okay. In Germany now.
This is in Germany.
Okay, yeah.
This is the story he told us. So he told his business partner, sorry, this has got to go to the police. Yeah. So his business partner beat him to it. Went to the police. I think he had sort of said, give me a day to sort it out or whatever. I'll pay the money back. Went to the police and accused him.
Ooh.
His name... Not the business partner, the guy the German guy we're talking about.
The framer.
Gautz, I think it's Gautz or Chametz or something, Decker.
Gericus.
Okay.
Maybe it's Gericus.
So he got arrested, and the police refused to listen to his story, saying it was his partner.
Yeah, somebody's smart enough to do that embezzling. He's going to frame him up real good.
So he got framed good and proper. Oh. He did the time. Okay. Then when he came out, he thought, well, I've done the time, now I'm going to do the crime.
Oh, no way.
So he got
That's a straight up movie.
With it is. It's just like a movie. That's why the cameraman was following him. Yeah. The cameraman was now part of a German program to film this.
Document this.
So
and they heard about Bomber in the Edge.
So after his... After spending the time in jail, so it probably was the mid-90s, I don't know. But he came out, and then he got involved in a cash-in-transit heist.
Whoa.
Where he got more than 6 million Rand. He got. Yeah. And then he nipped off to South Africa.
Oh, and then we pick up.
There we pick up. So he nipped off to South Africa. Yeah. They couldn't find him anywhere. They handed all the details of it. And he would send... postcards and letters via various places.
Yeah, no, smartly.
So that they could, and German chief of police saying, "Yeah, you'll see."
Yeah.
And he was spending the money on everybody else.
Yes.
You know, there was
very,
a young
very
man
generous,
in Sedgefield at the time who desperately wanted to move to Cape Town and open a restaurant. And this guy gave him heaps of money.
Jeez.
Heaps of money. So yeah.
So make friends with foreigners.
Yeah. So he got arrested.
Wow.
He went back. I think he did some more jail time.
Probably
got out for good behavior.
Yeah.
And then he was now going to make some money from this.
From this documentary,
this
movie, whatever it is. That would be amazing to find it.
Wow.
If anybody knows where we could find that, I would love to watch it.
It would be in German. They interviewed me, so I told them the story.
Yeah.
I never did get to watch it.
Well, with AI now, you can actually generate it that it will spit it out in English. And it'll even use that person's voice. And if you send it through the right one, it actually matches up their mouth movements as well.
My goodness.
So it will have him speaking or whoever is speaking, but it will translate it for you.
I'm going to find it.
I'm going to find it. If you do, let's go.
I'm going to find that.
We can speak to Steve.
Yes, speak to Steve.
If Steve is actually real, he might actually be an AI agent as well. Bomber, that is absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing.
Isn't it just another old Sedgefield story? Yeah.
Oh, love those, hey?
Yeah.
Love those. Well, thank you so much for that. Sorry,
thank
sorry
you.
if I rushed you.
Oh, no, it's
rushed?
fine. Are we out of time already?
We are.
Okay,
Can you believe it?
That's fine. Sorry, I did speak a bit slowly.
No. You did nod off for about an hour or so. I don't know if you noticed. That's why you got a blankie on.
Alrighty.
Looking forward to it. Okay, I'm going to see you at the manual the manual part of the skate competition on Sunday, right?
Yes, the manual.
I'll be the one doing a manual and a backflip.
Okay, a manual.
While eating a kahuna burger.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. Yes.
That would be.
I'll just call myself Emmanuel.
Beautiful. Bomber, thanks. Have a great week.
You too. Thank you very much.